Have you ever found yourself hesitating before pursuing a dream? That little voice whispering, you're not good enough, or what if you fail? Maybe you've started a new project, only to be bombarded by an internal critic pointing out every perceived flaw. Or perhaps you've achieved something you're proud of, but that nagging feeling still lingers, telling you it's not quite perfect. Sound familiar? That relentless inner judge can be incredibly draining, impacting your confidence, your motivation, and ultimately your overall well being and mental health. But what if I told you that understanding a certain planet in astrology could shed light on this inner critic and, more importantly, help you tame it for personal growth? Welcome to Mental Health and Astrology, this unique space where the wisdom of the stars meets the journey of self discovery. I'm Sander de Bot, therapist and astrologer for over 2 decades, and I'm so glad you found your way to this new community. Each week, we'll explore how the insights of astrology and a deeper understanding of yourself can help you navigate life's complexities, build meaningful connections with others, and nurture your individual and collective mental well being. In our personal transformation series, we'll delve into the various aspects of mental health with a special chapter dedicated to reflecting on its connection with the astrological influences that shape us. No prior astrological knowledge is needed. I'll explain it gently alongside relatable, real-life examples of mental health experiences that you might recognize within yourself and perhaps share within our community. The visual storytelling series you're watching now will offer a deeper visual exploration of astrology, illustrating how planets and signs uniquely impact your mental and emotional landscapes, fostering a shared understanding. Exercises are available in both theories to support your personal growth and our collective learning. This week, the topic for exploration and reflection is Saturn and your inner critic. So settle in with a comforting drink, and let's explore the cosmos and our inner worlds together with curiosity and compassion. Today, we're going to delve into the fascinating world of astrology and explore the influence of Saturn, often referred to as the planet of responsibility, discipline, but also limitations. And now you might be thinking, limitations, that doesn't sound very positive, but stick with me, because understanding Saturn's energy is key to understanding and working with that often harsh inner critic we all experience to some degree, and it's vital for personal growth. This isn't about blaming the planets for your struggles, it's about gaining important insights into your own internal dynamics and learning how to navigate them more effectively for your mental health. This topic is specifically relevant to your mental and emotional health because that inner critic can be a major source of stress, anxiety, and self doubt, hindering personal growth. By understanding the astrological roots of this internal voice, you can begin to approach it with more awareness and compassion, ultimately fostering greater self acceptance and inner peace and improving your mental health. So, what will we be covering in today's video? First, we'll explore the symbolism behind Saturn in astrology. Then we'll look at how Saturn's energy can manifest in both healthy and imbalanced ways, specifically in relation to your inner critic and its impact on your mental health. We'll also connect these themes to the bigger picture of your mental well-being and personal growth. And finally, I'll guide you through a practical exercise you can use to start working with your own Saturn energy and quiet that inner judge, enhancing your self-awareness. Ready to dive in? In astrology, every planet has its own unique energy and set of associations. Saturn is often depicted as the serious and demanding teacher, the Taskmaster, or the guardian of boundaries. It represents maturity, responsibility, discipline, hard work, and the lessons we learn through challenges and limitations, all contributing to personal growth. Think of it as the planet that helps you to grow up and take ownership of your life, which is essential for mental health. Saturn rules two zodiac signs, Capricorn and Aquarius. Capricorn, an earth sign, embodies structure, ambition, practicality, and a strong sense of duty, supporting personal growth. It's about building a solid foundation and achieving concrete results. Aquarius, an air sign, is more about innovation, social responsibility, and breaking free from outdated structures. While seemingly different, both signs share a theme of responsibility. Capricorn towards personal achievements with a focus on the past, and Aquarius towards the collective, focused on the future. Understanding these in astrology aids self awareness. At its core, Saturn's energy represents the need for structure, order, and boundaries in our lives, crucial for personal growth and a stable mental health. It's about setting realistic goals, taking responsibility for your actions, and learning from your mistakes, enhancing self awareness. It also highlights your relationship with authority, both external and internal. And this is where the connection to your inner critic comes in. That voice of judgment often mirrors the internalized expectations and rules we've absorbed throughout our lives, much of which can be traced back to Saturn's influence in astrology. It's the part of us that pushes us to do better, but when imbalanced, it can become overly harsh and critical, negatively impacting your mental health. Let's take a look at a couple of examples of how Saturn's energy in astrology can manifest in different signs, focusing on the mental and emotional implications and its link to personal growth. Imagine someone with Saturn in Cancer. Cancer is a water sign ruled by emotions and our sense of home and security. For this person, their inner critic might be particularly harsh when it comes to their emotional needs or their ability to nurture themselves and others. They might constantly feel like they're not doing enough to care for their loved ones or that their own emotional vulnerabilities are weaknesses. This can lead to feelings of guilt or inadequacy in their personal life, impacting their mental health. So, recognizing how Saturn's placement in astrology works out can influence specific areas of self criticism and affect mental health. Now, let's consider someone with Saturn in Gemini. Gemini is an air sign associated with communication, learning, and information. For this individual, their inner critic might focus on their intellect, their communication skills, or the ability to express themselves clearly. They might constantly worry about saying the wrong things, feeling like they're not smart enough, or overthinking every conversation. And this can lead to anxiety around social interactions and a fear of being misunderstood, impacting their mental health. Understanding this through astrology can bring self awareness. It's important to remember that these are just general descriptions from astrology, and your individual natal chart is a complex mix of planetary influences. To get a truly personalized understanding of how Saturn affects your inner critic and thus your mental health, exploring your own natal chart with a qualified astrologer can be incredibly insightful for personal growth. Let's take a look at the implications for mental health and personal growth, because Saturn's energy in astrology isn't inherently negative. When balanced, it can be a powerful force for good in your life, helping you to achieve your goals and build a strong sense of self respect, leading to personal growth. Here are five examples of balanced manifestations of Saturn's energy related to mental and emotional well being. Self discipline. A healthy Saturn helps you to stay focused and committed to your goals, fostering a sense of accomplishment and usefulness crucial for personal growth. Responsibility, which allows you to take ownership of your actions and learn from your mistakes, leading to personal growth and maturity, supporting mental health. Setting healthy boundaries. A balanced Saturn helps you to say no when necessary and protect your time and energy, preventing burnout and resentment, contributing to your mental well being. Long term planning. It encourages you to think ahead and make thoughtful decisions that support your future well being and personal growth. Learning from challenges. A mature Saturn helps you to see difficulties as opportunities for growth and to develop resilience in the face of adversity, enhancing self awareness and mental health. The key takeaway here is that a balanced Saturn energy, understood through astrology, fosters positive traits like discipline and responsibility, aiding personal growth and mental health. However, when Saturn's energy in astrology is imbalanced, it can manifest as that harsh inner critic we talked about earlier, severely impacting your mental health. Here are 5 examples of these challenging manifestations. Harsh self criticism. This is the relentless inner voice that constantly points out flaws and imperfections, leading to low self esteem and self doubt, hindering mental health and personal growth. Fear of failure. An imbalanced Saturn can create a paralyzing fear of making mistakes, preventing you from taking risks and pursuing your dreams, impeding personal growth. Feeling restricted. You might feel trapped by rules, obligations, or your own self imposed limitations, leading to feelings of frustration and resentment, affecting your mental health. Taking on too much responsibility. This can manifest as feeling overly burdened and stressed, often stemming from a fear of not being good enough, negatively impacting your mental health. Perfectionism. An unhealthy Saturn can drive us to strive for unattainable levels of perfection, leading to anxiety and disappointment, harmful to mental health and personal growth. By recognizing the different ways an imbalanced Saturn energy can show itself, viewed through astrology, can show up as self criticism and affect mental health. The consequences of this imbalance can be significant. Constantly critical inner voice can erode your self confidence, lead to procrastination and avoidance, and even contribute to feelings of anxiety and depression, severely impacting your mental health and ability to achieve personal growth. On the other hand, cultivating a balanced Saturn energy allows you to be self aware without being self punishing. It helps you to set realistic expectations, learn from your experiences, and build a solid foundation of self respect and inner strength, vital for personal growth and positive mental health. So, how does Saturn's energy, understood through astrology, and your inner critic fit into the bigger picture of your mental and emotional health and personal growth? Think of Saturn as the part of us that wants us to grow and mature. It highlights the areas where we feel insecure or inadequate, often stemming from societal pressures, family expectations, or past experiences. That inner critic, while sometimes feeling like a cruel adversary, is often trying to protect us from failure or judgment, albeit in a misguided way. It's like an obsessive security guard who sees threats everywhere, impacting your mental health. One of the key takeaways here is that your inner critic isn't inherently bad. It's a part of you that has developed over time, often with good intentions related to your journey of personal growth. However, it's crucial to learn how to manage this voice so that it motivates you rather than paralyzing you and negatively affecting your mental health. So, the inner critic often stems from a desire for growth and protection, influencing personal growth and mental health. Practical advice includes becoming aware of when your inner critic is loudest, what triggers it, and the specific messages it delivers. Start to question the validity of these criticisms. Are they truly accurate, or are they based on old beliefs or fears? This process enhances self awareness. For example, maybe your inner critic tells you that you're not qualified for a promotion. A balanced Saturn energy, understood through astrology, would encourage you to honestly assess your skills and identify areas for growth, while an imbalanced Saturn would simply shut you down with negativity, impacting your mental health badly. Another example could be in relationships. Your inner critic might tell you that you're not lovable or that you'll without doubt be abandoned. A healthy Saturn would encourage you to build healthy boundaries and choose relationships that are supportive and fulfilling, contributing to your mental health and personal growth. Ultimately, understanding Saturn's energy through astrology and your inner critic offers a hopeful perspective for personal growth and improved mental health. You have the power to transform that harsh internal judge into a wise inner mentor, guiding you with realistic expectations and encouraging you to learn and grow without unnecessary self punishment. It's a journey of self awareness. Have you recognized the inner critic in your own life? Is Saturn in your natal chart helping you with discipline and structure? Or does it hold you back because you're not good enough? Share your experiences in the comments below. Your story might resonate with others and offer them different views or insights and a broader understanding regarding their own mental health, personal growth, and self awareness. In the exercise for today, we are going to reframe Saturn's rules. Saturn, as the cosmic teacher in astrology, can sometimes manifest as a set of rigid rules and expectations within us, impacting our mental health. This week, let's examine those rules and see if they still serve you in your journey of personal growth. The first step is to identify your inner critic's rules. Think about the common themes or rules your inner critic tends to enforce. These might sound like, whatever you do, it must always be perfect. Or, you should never make mistakes. Or maybe, you have to please everyone. Or, you're not good enough until... Write down a few of these rules. This is an exercise to raise self-awareness. Now, question those rules. For each rule you've identified, ask yourself the following questions. Where did this rule come from? For example, childhood experiences, societal expectations, past criticisms. And is this rule realistic and achievable? Is this rule truly serving my well-being and personal growth? Or is it causing unnecessary stress and anxiety, negatively impacting my mental health? What would happen if I challenged or even broke this rule? Now, let's reframe the rules. For any rules that feel overly harsh or unhelpful, try to reframe them into more compassionate and realistic guidelines that support your mental health and personal growth. For example, you must always be perfect could become, it's okay to make mistakes. They are opportunities for learning and growth. And when you have written down, you have to please everyone, it could become, I will strive to be kind and considerate, but I cannot control everyone's opinions. By identifying and questioning the often unspoken rules of your inner critic, you can begin to dismantle those that are no longer serving you. This process, which aligns with Saturn's theme of understanding limitations and boundaries in astrology, allows you to create a more flexible and self-accepting inner framework, enhancing self-awareness and supporting mental health and personal growth. Now that you have found these rules of your inner critic, we can stretch it a bit by changing your view or perspective using self-awareness. Now, identify a recent criticism. Think about a specific instance where your inner critic was particularly harsh or critical towards you. You can choose one of the rules you've written down. What was the situation? What did the inner critic say? And how did that make you feel? Write a letter of compassion. Let's imagine you are writing a letter to a dear friend who is going through the exact same situation and facing the same harsh self-criticism. What words of kindness, understanding, and encouragement would you offer them? This part of the exercise promotes self-compassion and personal growth. Then shift the perspective. Now reread the letter, but this time imagine you are the receiver. Allow yourself to receive the compassion and understanding you so readily offered to your friend. Reflect on the differences. Notice the difference in how you feel when you read the critical words of your inner voice versus the compassionate words of your letter. This reflection enhances self-awareness and highlights the path to improve mental health. This part of the exercise helps you to actively practice self-compassion, which is a powerful antidote to the inner critic's negativity. By offering yourself the same kindness you would offer a friend, you begin to nurture a more supportive inner voice, and challenge the harsh judgments of your inner critic, leading to significant personal growth and better mental health. I'd love to hear about your experience with this exercise. Please share your thoughts in the comments below. What did you notice about your inner critic? What did your inner mentor have to say about your mental health and your journey of personal growth? Sharing your insights can also help others in their path to self-awareness and understanding astrology. Thanks for joining me on this journey into the astrology of our mind, with this week Saturn and its way of taming your inner critic for improved mental health. We've seen how Saturn's energy in astrology influences your sense of responsibility and can manifest as that often harsh inner judge. We've also explored the difference between a balanced and imbalanced Saturn and how to start working with its energy in a healthier way for personal growth. Saturn in astrology represents responsibility and can manifest as our inner critic, impacting mental health. An imbalanced Saturn leads to harsh self-criticism and fear of failure, hindering personal growth. We can learn to tame our inner critic by becoming aware of its patterns and responding with compassion, enhancing self-awareness and improving mental health. Join me as we explore the ins and outs of mental health with all its twists and turns on one side to the fascinating energy of the planets on the other side. My goal is to raise a sense of connection, understanding and empowerment in your daily life. If today's message resonated, then please share your thoughts in the comments and let's build a conversation. New here? A big welcome and let's create a community. Subscribe and hit the notification bell to ensure you never miss out on mental health insights. Together, we can navigate life's ups and downs with clarity and compassion. And please remember, astrology is a wonderful guide to self-awareness and personal growth, but it's your own choice that shapes your path. Take care of your heart and mind, stay healthy and focus on your mental health. Next week, we will discuss Uranus and the sudden fear of change. So be sure to tune in again. It ties in with this video where we discuss beliefs and limiting beliefs. See you there!